Welcome to Dream Stream Podcast. I am Yiskah Koock, here with our OG, Dr. Carla Mazzeo, and I would love to talk about your dreams. I feel a little rushing because tonight is Yom Kippor. So it's been the Jewish New Year. There's been 10 days of awe, and then now will come Yom Kippur, and this is a time for us to really beat our chest and cry out for our hurts in the world, and cry out for forgiveness as well. So just getting ready for that.
And are you fasting today?
I will be. Yeah, I know. I eat now because from sundown to sundown, I will be fasting.
Fasting. Okay, so tomorrow.
Starting tonight at sundown.
Tonight,
and then,
right. And tomorrow until the break.
But I will be brushing my teeth.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be like we're not even thinking about our physical needs. We're not worrying about brushing our teeth. We're not worrying about eating, but I probably will brush my teeth for the sake of anyone else around me. So Shana Tova, Happy New Year, listeners.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Carla. So did you have a dream you wanted to share?
Well, you mentioned you had a dream.
I did. And I also have a dream symbol that I'd love to explore with you. But first, I'd love to hear your last night's dream.
Well, I was going to hear your dream. I had last night's dream. There was a clip with you in it. But I actually was going to share the dream on the autumn equinox.
Oh, yes.
And that was very cosmic.
Oh, that's the dream I really want to hear. So let's hear it.
No, you go ahead.
No, I don't even have mine pulled up on my phone.
I don't either.
Well, pull it up, sister.
No, you reached out to me and you said you had a dream clip about sunset.
Right. I was with you. We were standing. Whenever I have a dream standing on a balcony, I always feel like I'm overlooking something cosmic, your word, but I always feel like I'm overlooking something that potentially will play out in my waking life. So in this dream, you and I were standing at a balcony and looking out. And let me see, I don't have that strong of a memory of this. Let me just see if I can find it here. Oh, this was that same dream. And then I also, we were at a party or something, gathering of people, and I saw a man I used to work with / when I worked at Greenpeace Action in Boulder, Colorado, Jack Mento. And I saw him and I realized, oh, I had just dreamed about him, so that was like a double foretelling in a way. And that was that dream with you, myself, with my projection of you, dream character. Central casting chose you to look over the balcony with me. So, and
when was that dream?
It's like a week ago, and maybe not even 5 days ago.
Okay. So yeah. September
okay, exactly
15.
Nope, 21st.
21st. Oh, that was just
a couple days ago.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I think mine was in the 23rd and the 24th.
And the equinox is somewhere between.
I thought it was 21st, 22nd.
It's usually the 21st. I think it was a little later this year.
I know. I don't know how they factored that, but I guess there's the wobble or something.
Right. Yeah.
But so that may have influenced me when you mentioned you had a dream. Oh, so you said also it was sunset? It was
in my dream, I'm standing with Dr. Mazzeo, my friend Carla, overlooking a balcony, and it's sunset. And then I realized it must be some kind of gathering of people because then I see Jack Mento, who I used to work for / with, and when I used to be a canvasser, and an assistant to the nuclear campaigner at Greenpeace when I was in my 20s.
Pro-nuclear or against nuclear?
No, no. No, it was, we would go, we would have these times where we'd go to the nuclear test site, which is, I guess, also the Area 51, it's in Nevada. It's and we always had a permit from the Western Shoshone Nation. Those are the natives from that land. But it was now private property, government property. And so we'd cross, trespass, and then we'd get as far back as we could go. And then they would catch us, put us in a fenced in pen
area,
and then bring us to the nearest town to process us. But I used to do this all the time with this person, Jack Mento, because he was my boss.
And his name was Mento?
Yeah. And you know what? Oh, I'm just realizing this picture on my wall of Redwood right there, the painting, he painted that.
Oh, wow. Jeff Mento, Mento. Jack Mento.
Yeah.
Like momentum.
Yes.
Okay. How long did you do that for?
Well, I used to be a canvasser and really got in with the people because I had left school. I quit school and I was just canvassing and I was living up in the mountains in Netherlands and hitchhiking down to Boulder, hitchhiking back. those are really good free days. We did a lot of peace protesting back then, which was amazing. But this in Nevada at the test site was.
How long were you in Area 51?
I went there. We never were there for more than a week at a time. We'd always make a side trip to Vegas.
Oh, wow.
I just remember
what did you do in Vegas?
Playing the nickel slots and hoping to win the van. That was like for win.
No nuclear. Give me gold.
No nukes. Cha-ching.
Give me coins.
give me the van. It's more like it. But we went a number of times. I got written up, arrested and written up. I was by the name Emma Goldman, who was an anarchist in, I don't know when, I guess the 50s or something, maybe 40s. And then I also I was into the book, The Mists of Avalon, the Arthurian tales. And so I was Morgane Le Fay once. And once I actually used my name because that felt like a powerful statement to me. But we were there a number of times.
Was it for months or years or?
I mean, over a couple of years.
It was over a couple of years.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we wouldn't go there for more than a week at a time. And then it was just when we were gathering there. Mm-hmm. So maybe twice. It was probably 3 years, and we probably went twice a year.
Okay. Wow. So the dream, I'll start with the dream I had this morning.
Okay.
Is that Lev?
He's coughing.
Oh, hi, Lev.
Well, he's not in here.
Oh, okay. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
So the dream I had this morning that had you in part of it, and I didn't actually write it down yet, but it's still fresh enough. But I may be missing some of the sequence of things.
Okay.
So you and I were at a table, kind of like a gathering, and you were sitting at the table. I was supposed to get the fish,
The fish?
the dinner.
Okay.
I was supposed to get the fish, which was for dinner. And I'm like, oh shit, I have to go back down the mountain and get the fish. And I'm like, you get the fish, Jeff.
To me?
Yeah. And then you're like, no, you're like, you just stared blank at me. And I was like, you get the fish. And then, so you're like, so I said, all right, let's both get the fish.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
So then the next scene, I was, I think I was also getting a bottle of wine. So it's going to be fish and wine for dinner.
Okay.
But I was on a mountain, and it was a narrow passage. It was very steep and very deadly. And, but it was familiar. And there was a course.
It was what?
There was a course, like there was a path.
Okay.
So there were some people behind me. I think I was climbing back up, and there was a guy in front of me, a white guy, a little heavy set. And he went on this walkway area. And then I thought, well, I could go that way, or I could go this way. And then I found another spot to enter in, which was more comfortable. And so that was kind of fun. So then the next scene was I had brought ice cream to an event, and it was a special flavor, and it was very healthy. It was kind of like a healthy new flavor ice cream. And it was ended up being at the apartments at my and there was then a class that was taking place, and it was theatrical.
Okay.
And then somebody else brought ice cream. The teacher really liked the ice cream that I brought, and it was a fun guy. And then I was like, oh, I want to try a little more of that ice cream. And apparently other people brought some ice cream with different flavors, not quite as, not to be partial, but not quite as good as the one I brought.
Just saying.
It's good, but not quite as tasteful or healthy.
Okay.
And so then there was one that I tried, and it was a watermelon flavor, but it was all sugar. I was like, I can't eat those. So then that was that.
Wow.
And then I was looking for I was like, all right, well, maybe we'll try the chocolate chip one instead, because the sugary watermelon is just not going to work. But the theater class, it was a full class, and it was fun.
I definitely have some clarifying questions, but first I have to say, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. What's on your hand, sister?
Well, I'd have to tell you the next dream.
Can I just see it? Like a little foreshadowing of what the next dream will entail. Well,
Sorry,
please
Mr.
go
Roboto.
right into the next dream. We'll treat them as one single dream.
Yeah. So the dream I had the night prior, I am going to look at my phone real quick. There was the rafting, right? Yes, that was beautiful. Okay. So I was on a raft. I was on a stream, and it was a big stream, and it was fast. It was whitewater rafting. And there were rafts in front of me, and they were going down the course, and they were crashing.
What was crashing? The rafts?
The rafts, the people in the rafts. So the rafts were turning over. They couldn't run the course.
Okay.
And so I was in the raft, and I was sitting in the front. So I was kind of like the leader, or I was guiding this particular raft. And even though technically it's the one in the back that has the the steer, but the front, I had to see what was happening. So anyway, I'm in the front. There's a guy right behind me. He kept trying to push me off the raft.
What?
And so I told him to stop. Stop now. And because I was well aware of what was happening. And then we were going to crash, and there was a waterfall, but I saw it and steered us to the right, and so we missed that. We would have all died. And so then we made it. We made the run. It was amazing. It felt great. It was like we were successful. We survived, and we ran the course.
That's very awesome.
It was awesome.
That's an awesome acknowledgement. If I look at this as a metaphor, if it's my dream, if it's my life, that something difficult that many have perished along the way, you know, that I'm attempting in my world, I'm going to run the course, and it's going to be successful. And I just have to watch. Be aware.
Yeah. Yes. And the second guy, the
guy who was trying to throw Dreamer off.
Yeah, he was like the second. He was right behind me.
Yeah.
And white guy. And so yeah, he kept trying to push me over. I guess he wanted my seat.
Did you try to
apparently
push him over?
No, I told him to stop. I told him to cut it out. You know, because this is a team.
Yeah.
So then we got to the end of the course. Go ahead, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say something that's going to get us off the course. So let's stay on this course.
Well, just at the very end, the water was calm. And then I was like, I'm going swimming. So then I dove in the water.
Just nobody say, let's do that again.
And there were a few little water snakes, but they weren't harmful.
Okay.
They were not harmful.
Nice.
So yeah, it was very pleasant. And then the next scene was I was standing on top of a waterfall.
Okay.
Maybe that waterfall or a different waterfall, but it was a vista point.
Okay.
And it was a gorge, so it was a very spectacular, kind of like Niagara Falls type of gorge, but not quite as large, but that intense, that powerful.
Beautiful.
And there were people all around, and I was given a ring. I was given a ring by my mother.
Oh, well, that's significant.
Yeah. And the ring, it was black, metal, but not of this place, I guess.
Not of this
it was a cosmic ring. And
wow.
So it was called the Cosmos.
The ring had a name.
Yeah. It was,
oh my
God.
The Cosmos. That's incredible.
It was black. It had two parts to it that you could take apart or put back together. And it had a black like jewel, but it wasn't a jewel. It was a kind of a stone within the metal. It wasn't shiny. It wasn't matte. It was kind of in between. It was a very particular color, and metal and
obsidian.
It's not of here, so it was cosmic.
Yes.
And
yes.
And I knew it was special. And there was a young woman, a young girl, who wanted to borrow it, and she was out looking at the waterfalls. And I said, well, you know, I thought about it, but I didn't want. I said, no, that's a little too risky to put it out there. So let's just kind of keep it mellow. Let's just keep it here for a bit.
So I just had a strong projection, which is, if this were my dream, and my mother, who I've had, you know, a trying life with, it gives me now this ring. It feels to me a cosmic ring. It feels of completion. And so I might have had a fraught history with my mom here on the earth in my life. But I feel like now that she has ascended to the spiritual realm, that she's giving me this cosmic ring of completion. Whatever it is I needed to learn from all of that, I feel like now I have learned it. I've completed it. It just was a strong projection of mine. Yeah. So now I'd like to look at, as I said, the two dreams together. And now, so the other dream.
And your dream also.
And with my dreams, smush them all together. So I was climbing. I was climbing, and then is that how that dream started? Climbing? That was before the acting class, right? There was in my mind, I was hearing it as three parts of the.
Well, it was interesting because your dream, you were on a balcony. And
Yes.
so mine started out, the one at dinner, you know, it was like this dinner setting that was on a mountain.
Okay.
Top. So it was similar to yours. So you and I were at this dinner, and then you had a dream with me.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. I've always hoped for that, dreaming together. You know, I used to say, oh, I'll meet you in the dream time. But nothing really ever came of that. But I did see all the years we did dream group, I did see that there were times when people's dreams really felt they were talking to something collective or personal, but for more than just the dreamer.
Oh, I've had that with people, especially with exes.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
We were both into dream work, and we would.
Oh, yes.
We would navigate that space. So I thought that was interesting. Yours was at sunset. Mine was, I guess, also dinner time.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a similar time of day.
Yes.
So that's interesting. And I forgot the meal, but you wanted me to get the meal, and I wanted you to get the meal.
Yeah.
There was this in the dream. And then but you, in your dream, you were Greenpeace, the Greenpeace.
Peace movement.
Yes, the Greenpeace nuclear protest.
Yes.
In Area 51.
Nuclear weapons testing.
nuclear weapons testing.
We used to take, the problem is strontium 90, which I guess is a component of being there, you know, that's released, and your thyroid can confuse it with iodine. So one needs to make sure they're all filled up on iodine so you don't absorb any of the strontium 90. Because that.
And so with this, you were protesting for nuclear war,
we were protesting
warfare,
nuclear
or
weapons
for nuclear
testing.
Energy.
Nope, it was nuclear weapons testing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this was just like war.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, it was for nuclear bombs.
Okay.
And yeah. So anyway, we would take a lot of these iodine pills when we would be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I saw my first rattlesnake.
Oh.
I also saw my first horned toad, which are so
that's interesting.
Amazing. Yeah, this rattlesnake, it was curled up, like it looked like a National Geographic picture. It was curled up right in front of this like white, it looked like a soft cactus, but this is not a cactus you would want to touch, you know. Mm-hmm. And it was curled up right in front of it. And I was walking and I heard it. I was on the test site. I was on, you know, and I thought I heard it. And I turned and I saw it. And then very shortly after that, the guys in their, you know, dune buggies arrested me. And I was like, you guys, I just saw the most beautiful sight. Talking to the cops or whatever. They weren't cops, they were like security hired.
Military police.
They weren't even military. They were just like, what do they call that? Like mercenary type, I mean, these guys weren't gonna harm us, but like Blackwater, like those type people.
Security guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I saw a rattlesnake up at Mohonk, Minnewaska.
You did.
About 2 years ago,
wow,
maybe
I
3
love it.
now. Yeah, it was the first time I saw in this region, which was interesting. That war, food.
I have to say, when I heard fish and wine, I'm thinking Jesus, the loaves and the fishes. What's that parable? Do you know
Water
it?
into wine and the fish to feed everyone.
Yeah, and loaves too. I don't know this parable, but I know that symbology. Yeah.
So food and war. That's kind of a juxtaposition in our dreams.
Yeah.
And then there's the alien, the Area 51. Isn't that the alien piece?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. Did you see any?
We saw everything in the sky. It was a million stars, and it's the desert. It's just incredible.
It was
so I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. All right. I'm also thinking a ring is like a ring. Potentially.
And whenever a ringing phone is in a dream, it makes me think of like connection to the spirit world. Somehow it seems that that's what it symbolizes in my dreams and in many dreams that I've helped to work. Yeah, ring. That's interesting. I wasn't even thinking that.
Right, about the different notions of it, and then the ring itself was a power. It was a power ring.
I wish I knew that poem. Brendan used to know it. And one ring to rule them all. However many rings for this and that. And there's a whole elfin poem from Tolkien, and the single. And I don't know if you remember, but Gollum, the hobbit who then became so unlike a hobbit, he drops his ring. That's what I thought of when you were talking about the waterfall. He drops his ring into this big thing of water. And I was thinking, if I'm the dreamer and I'm telling this young person, no, I'm not going to give it to you here. It's too dangerous. Is that what you're thinking? It's too dangerous. It's going to be dropped in the water. Is that what the dreamer was thinking?
Dropped in the water, or also you may not be. You have to be very careful.
Yeah.
That I think the person probably wasn't. They were very excited, but there was a maturity that went along with it.
Yeah. Wow.
But it was not it wasn't a no. It was just not now for that person. And for me, just to kind of sit with it a little longer. And so and who's getting dinner?
Yeah.
Getting dinner. Who's getting the drink, and who's getting the food?
Yes. Oh, Carla, I think now your computer sound is starting to work. So, but it's echoing. So let's just keep on the phone audio.
I'll mute that.
Yeah. So I just also, I know you're talking. Finish what you're saying.
Well, just that piece of who's doing what, who's getting the food, and then
and then I won't get any food.
We'll both have to do it.
Yeah, because this is a fast day. I'm like, I should just be eating because I'm going to be fasting for over 24 hours, which is good. People should refrain from eating once in a while so we can be really grateful for how much the earth provides us with, you know?
Yeah. There's I think there's that piece as far as where you get your food. And then going back a different way. And then there's the ice cream. So speaking of food,
Oh, right.
there's this new
Oh,
flavor.
yes.
There's this new flavor and it's healthy. And it's unique. Unlike anything else. And that is class. So there's another course.
Yes. Your sound is all wonky.
Theatrical. Yeah, that seems the course.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to hear more about that, but it's true. We didn't talk at all about the ice cream. So quick, just spit take. What do you think of when you think of ice cream?
Well, right? So it's something pleasant, but it was healthy and it was new. It was pleasant, new, and healthy and theatrical.
Yeah, I love that.
Or the theatrical.
It's dramatic.
Or course.
Yeah.
A course of a meal or a course of a class. There was that combination of the two. And then something sugary, but that was not.
Yeah, but I didn't want that.
Yeah, someone else had brought that. And it's interesting because I think there was a piece in life that there was that already came to fruition. There was a conversation, and it was maybe not too sweet. It maybe was not really practical. It was too sugary based, and not then the nutrient components.
Yeah,
it was going to be sustainable or
yes,
really nutritious.
Yes.
So I think that already came true.
Tell me.
I can't.
Okay, but see, that's so cool. We always tell the listeners that, you know, what is it? There's a quote from the Talmud that says a dream is 60% prophetic. And so it's so cool to see where our dreams play out in our lives. So you can identify where in your life that played out. That's marvelous.
Yes, it's happened quite a bit where dreams end up playing out. Right.
I've had a series like at the same time in like a 2-week period, like a series of foretelling dreams, but then none that I can necessarily identify in my life. But I've had, you know, night after night of like, oh, this is what's going to happen today. And that is then what happens. So that was the piece that I was seeing in the dream that I had with Jack, that, oh, I just dreamed about him. And then there he was. In the dream, I was saying that, though that was a dream about him, that I had not had an earlier dream about him. That dream of him where I'm telling him that, oh, I had a dream about you before seeing you. It was actually, I was telling him about what was happening in that moment. I was having a dream about him. So of course I think I'm going to see him tonight at services or something. No, well, I met him in Boulder, Colorado. I don't know where he is. I have no idea.
So, interesting name.
Yeah.
So you have Redwood and your dog and Memento.
Yeah.
So that was a significant piece. Piece where we get our food, how we get our nourishment.
what's
Cosmic.
Yes. I was just having a, yeah, I like that. I've told you this, right? I feel like calling these beings aliens is so disconnecting. If we call like someone from out of this country an alien, like that's also has an icky feeling, like, oh, they don't belong here. And then if we say, oh, the aliens. So I realized they're not gonna want to like hang out with us unless we start calling them alien beings. The alien beings. We're the human beings. And there's some animals, I guess not animal beings, but alien beings. My mom always wanted to, or she thought maybe that she did have connection with aliens.
Interesting.
We could just say
Other beings.
Other beings.
I mean,
And religion and spiritual practice talks about other beings.
Right? Look at the artwork, even in the cave paintings, look at how much other beings have influenced life on this planet.
or just spirit.
Or
Okay. Wait, that'll confuse us for a little while.
Christianity, we have,
the
the demons and
saints.
Yeah.
And Islam have the genies, the jinn.
Jen, oh, I know. You and you. I mean, I get it.
there is
Right. Way more than, yeah. So but I need to leave you, my darling. I just want to say one thing. I was talking with Stacy, another friend, about Yom Kippur, and she was saying she doesn't connect with it because it's about, beating our chest for things that people did like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So she feels disconnected. And so I was saying, well, what do we have in our world that we want to beat our chest about? And so she and I were talking about modern issues. And her feeling, and she wanted me to spread this far and wide, is that we need to, what did she say? Not shun, but like shun progress. Her whole thing is like, we don't want progress because that's putting us in the wrong direction. So, and I don't know if I was 100% on board with that, but even just this expression, you can't stop progress. She's like, we have to stop progress. So she was feeling like we need to go back to old times. And I'm not sure. I kind of feel like we need to take today's times and put more consciousness into everything we're doing and try not to be destructive in doing so.
Well, that is definitely
Complex conversation because somebody else who wants to go back to the 1800s, they said that was a time of war also.
Right.
true. But is there
You can imagine something different where all the countries
work
together towards something universal.
Right.
Otherwise, every country has
On philosophy and approach.
And if you stop it in one
Country.
another country is going to do
So
something. It again, it kind of
goes back to the
human beings or
that
what is there a potential
collective
approach to our
Just
living and what is meaningful way to be.
I am definitely a glass half full, rose colored glasses type person. And so I believe that all of this truth and goodness and peace and justice is coming. Is something we are moving towards. I hope, and I hope we don't go off
Well, I think you have to know that you can be It's interesting. You always mention
that you're Pollyannish, but then your shadow can be very avoidant.
Oh,
And,
interesting.
you know, you're going to have a shadow
shadow
to that.
that can be.
So we have to know
I don't even know if that would suit me anymore.
the Pollyanna.
Metaphor.
No, no, it's meant to
I'm
that.
older now, and
But that
see that like the start.
it could be a
It did not to the negativity, and I
Oh,
had to
yeah.
take a hard lesson to learn about the real negativity.
to be beaten down multiple
Times
times
to
to acknowledge and see the real evil that exists. And then when it's a whisper in somebody's ear, you know, and it's the evil with it. And
Right?
you know, and I see the seeds of it. I see it. But I would love to talk about that. I had a conversation with other people, multiple people
about this. It's very interesting.
Well, then let's retake this very
So
important.
even if someone wants to slow time and blow up all the modern technology, that doesn't mean it's going to be a nirvana.
Right. Right.
Right? Because you're bringing your consciousness to whatever place you're in.
Yeah.
But I think slowing down some things to think it through a little further. But again, it's not just one.
Country has to be other
But this one country, the country I'm in, could, you know, maybe if we start the process or staging the process further, then we can have more conscious awareness of what steps we do have to. But you can never please everybody, and sometimes you do have to make a decision on what the path is going to be.
Well, oh, I agree. So we'll get back to this.
So yeah, so
Yeah. And
what is the beating the chest? Is the beating the chest of can you explain that?
we do it with our, but my right hand. We know I have MS and the right doesn't work so well. So I'm just doing it with the left right now. It's we have sinned. We have sinned against.
So it's penance. It's penance.
It's penance. Yes.
Yeah, it's penance.
And it's taking on all of the sins of the people.
Of your ancestors.
And
Or humanity.
I'm taking on humanity because I don't feel like my little nation of the Jewish people is my only relations. I feel like we're all related with each other, and so that I feel like that's when, the traditional way of saying the Shema, let me think for a moment. And we say for all of Israel, for peace and for all Israel. But then in the Jewish renewal, which is more my proclivity, it's and all living beings on the earth. So that's included, but that's the thought. Like we need to open our minds and hearts to each other.
So there's the personal responsibility, there's the
I want to reach self-awareness and forgiveness.
Yeah, actually, right?
Okay.
And I think that this Kol Hai, which is where I'm celebrating the service tonight, I think that last year I did as well. And I was disappointed because I didn't cry. And like every year, and this might sound weird, but every year I had cried on Yom Kippur. It's just a collective time to all grieve together. I feel like humanity needs that, is my feeling. And I didn't, and I think it's because they maybe took away the pounding and instead they were like, give light to your heart. And it was all very healing and beautiful, but I still wanted my catharsis,
Well, I know for me, sometimes ritual and ceremony is very helpful, but other times it's not authentic, because it's a ritual and a ceremony. I may feel this a month from now or 3 months prior, but it's not always on that specific day that it's supposed to be. It's the same when someone and I'm not stopping at someone's funeral, but I may be when no one's around.
Absolutely. Grief is expressed in so many ways. For me, this is just important as like a collective grief.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a community sharing. but also there's that, right, that there's the personal thread that, and I think that's the takeaway too, is that it's not just, you can respect a ceremony, but it's not just confined to the ceremony.
Right.
And that if we walk with self reflection and I guess repentance or just desire to improve every day, then that would be fantastic.
I think it would as well. So,
Yeah.
listeners, Lashana Tova and Carly, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you. And what we do at Rosh Hashanah is we eat apples with honey. And I think apples, it's just the autumn, harvest with honey so that we have a sweet New Year. So anyone who might want to do this, take a piece of an apple, dip it in honey, and let that be the metaphor for the sweetness that we're praying for this coming year.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And, we'll talk again soon about all the forces surrounding it.
Oh boy. So listeners, Talmud, Metukim.